What transfer rumours have the journalists got for us today? As we know, 99.9% of these rumours are BS. Nonetheless, Arsenal allegedly set sights on shock Kingsley Coman deal. Is it a shock? We've been linked with him before. Obviously, a number of those wide men at Bayern Munich, it seems like their futures are subject to speculation, people. In which, for me, could it be worth trying to get Matheus Cunha from Bayern Munich? I know reports have come out he's not going on loan, but he can play up front, can play on the left. He's French, obviously Arsenal historical French ties, and he's a quality player, people, which unfortunately for him, if he wasn't French, I think he'd be a full international footballer by now. Obviously, France littered with talent, stocked with talent in every position. Apparently, according to Connor Hume, Arsenal are weighing up a swoop for Bayern Munich winger Kingsley Coman, sources have told Football Insider. No one can prove these sources. It might even be burger sauce or ketchup. The 28-year-old has emerged as a target at the Emirates Stadium as the transfer chiefs look to add more firepower to Mikel Arteta's squad this month. Arsenal could swoop for Bayern star Coleman in the January window after the injury to Bukayo Saka. Apparently, following Saka's surgery, we've decided to explore opportunities. We all know we're going to be without him. Coleman apparently has 4 goals and 2 assists in 19 games across all comps this season and is currently out with an injury of his own. So does it make sense? You know, Kingsley Coman has a terrible record with injuries. Great player, only played for good clubs, got all the trophies and been capped by his country, but does it make sense, people? You know, he's got injury issues of his own. You throw in the Arsenal tax and you throw in the landscape we've got this season, in which you could probably count on one hand the players who haven't suffered an injury at this football club. Does it make sense? Good player, of course, experienced, of course, 8-time Bundesliga winner, contracted until 2027, people. So he's at a peculiar stage in his career at Bayern Munich where they're going to have to make a decision. We've been linked with him. We've been linked with Leroy Sané. The only wide man we ain't been linked with at Bayern Munich would probably be Gnabry, people. Apparently, as we know, Football Insider also have been saying in the last 24 hours, Arsenal exploring a January move for Wolves star Matheus Cunha. Let me know your thoughts on him, people. Would you have him? And let me know, if you think it's worthwhile. Don't forget to smash the like button. Journey to 70k. But simultaneously, maybe his agent is playing Arsenal's alleged interest to get his client a new deal at Wolves, or maybe Arsenal's interest is overstated. I have no doubt Arsenal and a number of clubs like Cunha, probably monitoring him, would probably be receptive if he's made available for sale, people. Would have him in the squad, think he's a quality player. I don't necessarily think he's what we need out wide and up front in terms of the skill set, but I'm having him, he's quality. Wolves are currently working on a new contract for Matheus Cunha amid January interest from Arsenal. The Gunners want to sign a new forward this month following the hamstring injury suffered by Bukayo Saka. Cunha is emerging as a genuine target for Mikel Arteta, but Wolves are determined to fend off their interest by offering the Brazilian an improved deal at the Molineux. The forward has 2.5 years left to run on his current contract, but is likely to be tempted by a move to Arsenal. But if Wolves can successfully tie their forward down to a new deal, which could include a release clause, it would effectively end Arsenal's hopes of a deal this month, unless the Emirates club are willing to pay well over the player's valuation. Wolves have shown a sharp improvement under newly appointed head coach Victor Pereira, but remain in the relegation danger. With that in mind, the Molineux club are determined to keep the 25-year-old this month, though sources close to the deal are not completely ruling out a move. So are Arsenal going to pay a bit more? Are Wolves actually willing to sell him? You know, obviously they're fighting relegation. Is our interest being overstated? Is it creative journalism? I'm having him. He's versatile, Premier League proven, 25 years of age, obviously going to go up the levels, but surely summer is more feasible, people, in my opinion. And again, I can't say it. I would say better yet, people, smash the like button. It's been a mixed kind of bag where you look at Arsenal's pursuit of Premier League based players or higher level talents, if that makes sense, because I mean, I wouldn't include this, but forcing it, you could say Kai Havertz. Obviously, the primary example would probably be Declan Rice. But where you look at our pursuits of Caicedo, Douglas Luiz, they haven't really come to anything. And you throw in big money like Vlahovic, or pardon me, the pursuit of Mudryk, which thank the Lord that never happened. Hasn't really worked out in the January period. We all know January is a difficult time to do business. Whether we're able to do this is another thing, people. Nonetheless, apparently Arsenal will formalise their interest in signing Nico Williams and make a bid if the Spanish winger shows a desire to make the move. Is he going to show a desire to make the move mid-season? So that is where it is, regardless of the release clause. Victor Gyökeres scored his first hat-trick of 2025. I know Arsenal not signing him. I'm just keeping up the propaganda. Now, Omar Marmoush is a player at Frankfurt a lot of people want. Allegedly, Manchester City have reportedly sent a contract proposal to Omar Marmoush's agent, according to this journalist. Spurs, Arsenal, and Liverpool are all interested, but he currently prefers Man City and has spoken to the City board. Can play up front, can play out wide, lovely technical ability. I'm sure he's spoken to several Egyptian players that have played in the Premier League, and obviously the big dog Mo Salah, who, you know, if I was a Liverpool fan, you get your boy to join us over there. But yeah, Bayern Munich have decided to keep Matthias Tel for the second half of the season. He won't be going on loan. I think he's worth a try, man. I think Bayern would be silly to let him go permanently. But, you know, if we do have a willingness to commit any sort of figure to Matheus Cunha, I think it's worth a try. Now, Bayern, as I said, would be silly. You know, Coleman's not going to be there forever. Sane's got his contract stuff. Gnabry's got his contract stuff. This guy is a future French full international and a quality player. But, I mean, you put 50 million on the table. Obviously, came through the Rennes Academy, which him, Camavinga, Dembele, the list goes on. 50 million on the table, 60 million on the table, whatever he was going to put on Cunha. Of course, he's lacking that experience, even though he's at Bayern. I'm all for that, people. Arsenal, Mikel Arteta says Arsenal will not be forced into a panic buying during the January window. I don't think we'll buy panic players, but I think there needs to be a sense of panic and urgency to find someone that can deputize for Bukayo Saka. If we panic, it means we're not prepared. And a big thing is preparation, which is true. And when you are well prepared, your decision will be better, very well processed. Then we decide if we want to sign a player. Is he performing? Yes or no? That can be a good decision or a bad decision after that. The preparation is done for sure. We are ready if we have to do something, but we know as well we have an excellent squad with players available. We can compete with any team with players available. If players available, my guy, man. Mikel Arteta said that we need to probably follow the multi-club structure that Manchester City have to attract the best players. Wasn't this something Edu apparently wanted people? Well, that's something that a lot of clubs have at the moment. So that restriction in the country, as obviously Brexit, has provoked that many other clubs have now like sister or multi-club systems to be able to do that. So looking ahead in the future is something basically to explore, because obviously with the actual system, it's very, very difficult. Every club is very different in the way they set up, and the clubs that they have picked are various. But in our way, it's obvious a decision from the ownership and the board to understand what is the best thing for the club in the future. My involvement is with the team and in the squad. I have full trust in what the club has decided to do there, and they have decided if the club wants my opinion, I'm more than happy to give that, but my focus is on the team. Fair enough, really and truly. I don't think anyone can disagree there. Arsenal are to hold Aiden Heathen contract talks as the Gunners look to keep Wonder Kid. Very wary about calling people wonder kids and things of that ilk, but he is a talented player. Now, I think he could have a future at Arsenal. I like him a lot. Could play centre half as well as left back. But where you look at it, yes, there could be some chopping and changing. Does it make sense for him to sign a new deal? From a club perspective, get it done immediately, people. For him, you've got, again, players can leave. But at this moment in time, a fellow Haylander who can play centre mid as well as left back, Lewis Skelly's ahead of you. Kivior can play centre half and left back. He's ahead of you. Tommy's ahead of you. Ben White's ahead of you. Whether this is centre half or whatever, Gabriel's ahead of you. Saliba's ahead of you. There's a bunch of options. And at 18, you're still young. 6 months left on his contract isn't what you want to see. But I wonder if you go to a lesser team with less resources where there's more of a pathway, who knows? But at the same time, you've seen Lewis Skelly and obviously Miles progress. You've seen Sego Jr. and Josh Nichols and Porter all make their debuts. I might even be missing out one. Maldini, maybe there is a pathway. Love the guy, though. Think he is quality, man. Has travelled with us on a number of occasions against Man United, Spurs, Porto in the Champions League was about during pre-season for us. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see him stay, man. It'd be nice to see him stay. But yeah, you've seen him linked with Bayern Munich, Newcastle, and a bunch of others, people. Rightly so, owing to their progress, Arsenal are planning to announce new 5-year contracts for Miles Lewis Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, probably once they both turn 18. Now, for me, if I was their agent, I'd be doing exactly what Bukayo Saka's agent does, where you sign a 3 to 4 year deal just because you're always 18 months away from getting a new contract. Now, obviously, you want to wait till they're 18. That's when at 17, you can only sign, I believe, a 3-year deal max. You want these guys to get 5-year deals, and they deserve it. Ethan's progressing, Lewis Skelly's progressing. I don't know between the two of them who you would give Rookie of the Year to, but two very good prospects out of Haylen, and it just shows the pathway which is expiring to other clubs. And yeah, they're 18. We need to give them time to develop and all of that jazz, people. But they're there because they've got ability. And when the manager's thrown them in, they've given the manager every reason to trust them because they've done very well. So that's music to my ears. At the time of making this vid, we're playing Brighton. You can make a case that Ethan deserves to keep his spot on the right hand side against Brighton. And between Calafiori and MLS, Miles Lewis Skelly, I think it's very neck and neck as to who should start at left back. I think I said in my preview I'd lean towards Lewis Skelly. I don't think, though, it doesn't make sense, but I think if Lewis Skelly starts, I don't think Ethan will. If Ethan starts, I don't think Lewis Skelly will. But yeah, man, they deserve it. And you know what? Thank you to both of you for being ready to step up, because on the best of days, we've got a very tiny squad. So yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, and you're showing your versatility. And at some point in the future, these two might play in midfield together. Really, both can play. Well, Lewis Skelly could easily play as a 6. He reminds me of Moussa Dembele in that regard. Could easily play as an 8 if Declan Rice could do it. Ethan, 8, 10. The manager said you can play as a striker. Seeing him play on the right-hand side. Lovely, lovely stuff for the future. And God knows how much money these guys have saved us, man. So yeah, they can keep doing their thing. Smash the like button and let me know your thoughts as well, folks. Let's see what other news there is. Man City threatening. Well, this is about Omar Marmoush, people. The 25-year-old has 18 goals and 12 assists in 24 appearances, which is amazing, people. Can't begrudge him for wanting to join City. Earlier this week, it was claimed that Arsenal were actually in pole position, having surged past Liverpool, people. So we'll have to see. But Egyptian outlet Yom7 asserts that it's already official that Marmoush will join the reigning Premier League champions. But apparently Ben Jacobs is urged to pump the brakes on this kind of reporting. Apparently City have an interest, but they're yet to hold talks with Frankfurt. So maybe they've agreed personal terms with Marmoush, judged his willingness to sign for the club. But in terms of dotting I's and dotting T's with his current employers, there's still a long way to go. I mean, I do want to ask you, what is the priority for January? Is it a striker? Is it a winger? Is it both? Out of the Marmoushes, the Nico Williams, the Kingsley Comans, the Cunhas, what would be, Kudises, what would be you lot's port of call?